Hello and welcome to another episode of Pull Yourself to Pieces.
Oh, wait, you're back.
Yeah?
And I didn't pay the ransom.
What?
I know you were abducted by aliens, but I never got a ransom note. So how come you're back? Would they just drop you off?
Yeah, they didn't really want me.
How was that anal probe?
That was the best part.
So you wanted to stay, huh? You were like, hey, this ain't so bad. Did they at least buy you dinner afterwards? I mean, it's only fair.
No, it's just a round trip ticket. That's it.
Round trip ticket. Okay.
Yeah, you don't get no one ways with that stuff.
All right. So
And if it was one way, how would anybody know? The
Right.
person never showed back up again. So we'd be like, yeah,
exactly.
okay,
Yeah,
you've been
I'm
abducted.
just glad you're back. You look a little different though.
Yeah, that's the tan. They bring
Oh.
you closer to the sun.
Oh,
So,
I was going to ask you, what planet? So it must have been like, I
Uranus.
guess, like
yeah.
No, that's further out. And leave my anus out of this. Yeah, probably Venus.
Yes.
Yeah,
Venus.
planet of beautiful women. Yeah.
Yes, which rhymes with penis, which is how ironic is that, right?
Yeah. Only you would think of that.
Anyway, do you know by the time this show goes to air, which is a couple of
Yeah.
days,
Yeah.
it'll be 4 weeks since we did a show because we had nothing but problems or delays. No one
Yes.
knows it, but we tried to do a show, would have been
Right.
this show,
Right.
and halfway through the show, you lost your internet connection, and we were like, that
Right.
was it. We're done.
Yeah.
Hands
right.
up.
Lost the internet.
Mic
So
drop.
everything that we had recorded was gone. And unfortunately, because it was so long ago, 4 weeks, I don't remember what the hell we talked about. So
You know what's funny? And no one knows like how we do this record. No, any of our listeners wouldn't know how we do our record, but our record is done through the internet, and to make it better for a broadcast,
yeah.
everyone that we have on the show, whether it's just you and me or whoever else we have, all has their own separate audio, like it should be. That's the way it should be.
Right. So everybody's recorded separately.
Right. So what happened with that record was your record didn't go through, so you had is mine, and it would just be hilarious just to just have a show with just my audio and
Right.
not knowing what else the other comebacks are or what the other the response.
What the other person was saying. Right. So you really leave it to the imagination at that point.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like fill in whatever you want
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. I wonder what Ray said. It must have been funny. Billy's laughing.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
I'll laugh at anything. So
That's true.
pretty much.
Well, speaking of laughing, this is a comedy podcast, but every now and then, Bill, we like to tackle very serious and important issues. And we're talking about something here that affects at least 9 out of 10 elderly people. And the 10th person has Alzheimer's. He doesn't even know he has it. What am I talking about? Uncontrollable flatulence. That's right. Uncontrollable flatulence. It can happen to anyone. Think about the last time you were at a Thanksgiving table and somebody ripped one and let one loose. They just have no control. They sit there with this funny little smile, hoping that nobody heard. But we all heard. And look, it happens to everyone. So just want to remind people that, listen, it's natural part of nature. And, if you don't let that stuff out, your head will explode. So just remember, if you have to just lift a cheek, you never want to do it on a wooden or metal chair. And if you can, cough to mask the sound of the fart. Right. Exactly. Right. And then, of course, you could, and then if you let out a silent one and there's a dog present, you could always look at the dog and say, oh, bad dog, bad dog. That's why old people have dogs. Didn't you know that, Bill?
Oh, that's why they have dogs.
That's why they have
for
dogs.
The companionship. It's
No, it's to
for
blame the dog for
blame
the
the
stink.
dog. Okay.
Yeah, blame the dog.
That's the reason.
So you have some things to talk about. So you were away. Where were you?
Oh, I can't go into the whole details of that.
So just give us the
I don't
high
want
points.
to. I don't want to because you know
Okay.
what? Yeah, there's certain things that we can't discuss yet.
Too aggravating, right?
Well, not just that. Just it's better to not discuss because this goes out all over the place, and
We had 3 listeners. You think they care?
Well, you never know what might happen in the future.
All right.
Speaking of listeners, I got a surprise for you.
What? What is that?
Well, we got to do a shout out to somebody because
Okay, who?
we got one of our listeners
Yeah.
left back some feedback.
Oh my gosh. you're
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah, we got
First
some.
one, first
I
time.
I know. Wait till she
Did they?
wait till she hears this show and she'll be like, "I was the first one." So, yeah, she wrote, and I quote, "You
Yeah.
guys inspire me and educate at the same time. Keep up the good work."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That us?
Yeah.
We? Seriously? Us two idiots? Wow.
I
Thank
know,
you so
inspire and
much.
educate. She doesn't realize all we're trying to do is entertain.
Yeah, that's all we know how to do is entertain. Well,
That's what
thank you
that's what
so
we
what?
we both like to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
In
This
our
is
own
for fun.
ways. You've
Right.
always, anybody that goes back and listens to episodes, they would know that, you are the more extroverted one and you're entertaining is that way. I like to entertain on a different level,
Yes.
but it's funny. No one knows our history. And I remember I would love to get it and try to get decent sounds of it and have us play it. I'm going to hunt down the radio interview that you and I did from, oh my God, it's almost 40 years ago. It's probably 40 years ago. And see what the sound quality is on it. It's when you came into the radio station, when I worked at the radio station, and
Yeah.
we did the Good Rats interview.
The Good Rats interview. All right.
Yeah, and I think about it once in a while. And I want to try to hunt that thing down and see if we can play bits and pieces of it on the air, and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
It's
Sounds
may
like
not
fun.
have the greatest sound, but I'm going to check it, see if I can clean it up, and see if we can get it on there, and we'll do it on a future show. But anyway, that was really, really a great response from Kara M.
Okay.
Kara, we love you. Thank you so much for
Yes,
giving
thank
us
you.
that. Shout out to her. She's great. I'd love for her to come on the show.
Okay.
I'm assuming she might be a Twitter follower, maybe, and maybe she'll she'll hear this and she'll reach out to us and wouldn't mind being on the show because we're always looking
Okay.
for anybody. Everybody's got a
Oh.
story.
Oh,
Right?
and
Everybody's
and,
got a story.
And the young girl that has helped me over at Comcast get my my internet up and running. She's a fan of the show now. So
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
I ran into her at a restaurant the other day, and she said, "Oh, the
You
podcast
ran into
guy."
her. What happened? Oh my God! You knocked her over and
Yeah.
everything, right?
No, she's okay. She has a walker now, but she's healing. No, I ran into her at a restaurant. And she's like, "Oh my God, the podcast guy." I said, "Hey, how you
the
doing?"
podcast.
She goes, "I listened to the podcast this morning." She said, "I really liked it." So I said, "Well, thank you."
I know we
So-
usually we were trying to get at least once or twice. Yeah, I would say once every 2 weeks we were trying to do there. But the delay with your internet which is a problem, and
Yep.
then me going away for a couple of weeks, which was
Yep.
hell.
Yeah.
And one day we'll talk about all that on
Yes.
the air,
Right.
and then just getting our act back together again, and here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Oh, and the other big news is that an extended family member of ours is a bit of a celebrity and will be on TV soon. So
Yeah,
we
and
can't
you
talk.
know what? I'm
we
assuming
can't-
right. He's not going to be allowed to talk about
we
that.
can't talk about it now, but
Right,
when
right.
the time comes, we'll have him on,
Definitely.
and
Yeah,
he
we'll
can
look
tell
forward
us
to that.
all what it was like and what it was all about. So we're very excited about that. That's for
Definitely.
way down the road.
Definitely.
But
have you spoken to him since?
yes,
any
I
of that?
have.
Oh.
I certainly have.
Did it all happen?
Yes, it did.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow.
And
Awesome.
he had a blast, and he's very excited. And
Oh great.
yeah, so can't we? And again, we have to be hush.
Yeah, we'll
hush
have to
till-
wait. We'll have to wait until it airs, and then we can have him on. So
Yeah.
So he won't be. He'll get in big trouble.
All right. So what do you want to talk about?
What do I
You
wanna
said you
talk
have
about?
something to talk about. You have some
Um,
topics.
Yeah, I did. I had a topic that I wanted to talk about when we were going to do this show weeks ago
Okay,
because it just popped into my head, as
Uh-oh.
most of my ridiculous topics do.
that's trouble.
And I wanted to bring this up to you because I thought about. I don't know. I wish I could remember why I thought about it. Maybe I'll remember it as I get into it. Anyway, I thought it was an interesting thing to bring up. It would have been nice if we had some more guests on the show right now to bring this up. But this is something you can always, if we have a guest on as they're leaving, we give them the rundown. The speed round that we could
Okay.
throw this one at them and really
Okay.
get their brain to collapse.
Okay.
If you could change one thing about the world,
Oh, yeah.
what would you change?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, I know exactly.
Wow, that's great. Well, before
Oh,
before you get
first,
into that,
yeah.
it popped into my head a couple weeks ago, and I
Okay.
asked the family, and everybody had different opinions. I decided to run that same question through the AI thing, that chatbot
Yeah.
thing. That's
Chatbot, right?
exactly, and it came back with what I probably what would be the usual suspects
Okay.
of the climate change.
Of answers. Oh.
Right, poverty in the world.
No, I didn't. None. I got
Eradicate
none. None.
hunger,
None of that.
um,
Nope.
reduce
Nope.
crime,
Nope. Nope. Mine is real simple. You want to hear it?
peace in the world.
Nope.
So what's yours?
Remove every single bit of religious dogma.
Wow, really?
Nope. No more religion. I mean, John Lennon said it best. Imagine there's no religion.
Right.
Yeah, I would remove all religion.
See, you and I have had this discussion or something like this, either on the air or we've had it off the air. That I don't know. I worry about anarchy with that. I feel like
Wait a minute. You think the lack of religion is going to lead to anarchy?
I
We have
think I
religion.
think
We
that the
have.
religion has kind of helped keep people sort of in line because
I think it's just the opposite. I
they
think.
think that if they sin, they're going to go to
Oh
hell. So they're not,
no, no, that
not
doesn't
not
stop
all
him.
religions. Okay, not
No,
all
no.
religions. Some religions.
The threat of hell does not stop anybody from sinning, Bill, at all. It's a joke. The only thing that stops people from sinning is the law and the consequences of the law, because that's real. Hell is just a myth. But
No, no, I
anyhow,
know that, but
I
I'm
don't think
saying
yeah.
I'm
I'm
just
sorry. I think religion is the one thing that divides us all. I think without religion, I think we'd all be able to come together a little bit better.
come together better.
Come together. Yeah, we would all come together, because at that point, without religion, maybe we could all realize that we all came from the same place, and that when we die, we're all going to the same place, right? Because
True.
right
True.
now it's my religion is better than your religion. My religion is the one true religion, so I hate you for your religion. It divides us. We'd be better off without it.
The multitude of different religions, I agree with you, but the
Yeah.
idea of religion, I still feel like it has
Yeah.
kept some people,
Well,
masses in line.
you don't need religion to have morality.
Well,
You don't. You
I
really
know
don't.
that. I know that.
I mean, by the time you're at 10, you should know the difference between right and wrong. If you had good role models and good parents.
Right.
If you didn't,
And the
then
educational system, whether it be public school or,
yeah. But
private
again,
schools,
what you learn in school has nothing to do with morality. You learn morality through at home, seeing and hearing and watching the actions of others, and you just eventually figure out the difference between right and wrong. Some people never get that message, and that's the
Interesting.
problem. So, what else you want to? So that's my answer, and your answer is,
Oh,
what
yeah.
would you get rid of? What would you change?
Yeah, I fell into one of the things the chatbot would have done.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much um wanting to have a better empathy, sympathy
Oh,
for each other. That was
yeah,
that
that
was
would be
really
that would be
because
nice.
I thought that could if we could have that,
Yeah,
we could still have progress. Because if you make everybody like, oh, all peace and everything, and no, never any fighting, and I don't know, I just don't think we'll get any progress done. So I thought that,
okay,
if we can have empathy, sympathy, if we can
yeah,
have more caring, that
yeah,
we would still
yeah,
progress as a race.
yeah. Well, I'd like to add an addendum to my answer, please.
Oh,
All right,
Okay.
so what else I'd like to get rid of is all the B movies that are like made on a yearly basis. And when I say B movies, I mean,
Not ones made
you
with
know,
bees in them. Okay.
no, I have Tubi because I'm cheap and it's a free service where I can watch movies and old TV. And as I scroll from film to film to film,
Right.
it's just incredible how many B movies are out there.
Right.
They all have the same plot. Somebody holding a gun, usually. Um, they all have 4 or 5 stars that nobody's ever heard of. But and in the opening credits, it'll be and some old star from the
Right.
60s or 70s that they knew they could get for cheap because he needed
Right.
a job.
Right.
And it's always the same. So and so, blah blah blah, and Richard Dreyfuss, and I'm like, oh, okay, a name I recognize,
Right. Who hasn't done
or
anything in 10 to 20
or
years. Right.
I mean, it's just ridiculous, and they're so bad. And the king of the bad B movies right now is Steven Seagal, and right there behind him is Nicolas Cage. He's got like a movie coming out every 2 weeks, and
Yeah.
again, he's just
For a little
he's
while
just.
there, it looked like Bruce Willis was doing that too, but I feel
Oh
really
my
bad
God,
about Bruce.
he's third.
He's
He's
third.
third.
Yeah. Well,
He
now he
went
won't be
from
doing any more of those.
he went
Poor
from
Bruce.
starring Bruce Willis to, and you might see Bruce Willis for 5 minutes in this movie. Just sad. I
Right.
mean,
I
really, just
know.
sad. And
know.
on an even sadder note, it is
Well, these
really
guys aren't
sad.
doing it for the money. These are big guys that they're not doing.
Right.
They're doing it because it's the only thing they know how to do, I guess, and
Right.
they still enjoy it. They still have to
I
enjoy
guess.
it. I
guess.
it's not
Yeah.
for the paycheck. It's definitely
No,
not.
obviously. No,
No,
not for
no,
the
it's
paycheck.
just
So yeah, let's get rid of
we do this for free.
we do?
Yeah.
Wait, I don't get paid?
We finally reached $7.
We made $7.
$7, and we still can't cash it
Wow.
in until we get to 10.
So,
but, we're
so it's
almost there.
taken us a year and a half and
To earn
53 hours out of our life. Not to mention all the time that we have spent writing copy. You've written copy, I've
Sure.
written copy, and we
Right.
made $7. Okay. So anybody out there listening thinking you're going to get rich with a podcast, unless your name is Joe Rogan and you're a POS, you're not going to make a nickel. So
No,
just
but
realize
But the fact that, I do a promo and you hear it every once in a while on the show.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's not just to promote Anchor. It's also I totally stand behind Anchor and the fact that you can do this
yeah.
very, 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 very inexpensively.
Well,
You know,
it's
so
free.
so-
It's basically free.
Yeah, so
It's
a
a free service
You just need a microphone, you need some headphones,
Yep.
and
half a brain, and we have
and-
that covered.
you can record, and then you just put something up there, and you can host for free. You can we use Zencaster to record, which is also a free service.
Yeah.
Zen CAS
CAER.
C-
Yeah.
CENCASTR. No, there's no
Yeah.
E. It's just
Right.
Zencaster.
Yeah.
And so our services are all free, and
Yeah. And
anybody that
those
wants
are-
to do a podcast should go out and do it. Don't let
And
it
the
stop
f-
you.
And the fact that every time you and I do a podcast, we are over 400 miles away. That's the amazing thing. too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you get the exact same microphones, it sounds like we're in the same room.
Yeah.
And thank God we're
Even-
not, because of
Thank God we're not.
with
Yeah.
all that flatulence.
With all that. Exactly. So yeah.
Speaking of getting things done on your own,
Yeah.
I have one other thing to talk about, and that is
Okay.
finally did the will.
Oh, for you. Okay.
But I finally did my will. I know we got to get
Okay.
around to doing yours, and
Yes.
I bring it up because I think a lot of people are, like myself. You're like, you don't want to think about a will, and you don't think, but there's no reason why just about anybody shouldn't be able to go do a will. The internet and software now has made it a lot easier. I mean, you can go the route of looking into a lawyer, an attorney, and having them create a will. It could be costly. It could be anywhere from a couple $100 to $1,000 or more, depending on what state you live in and how extensive your will is going to be. But a fairly simple will can be done with software that you can buy. There's online ones that you can do. and there's and you know, I did a software one. It's the who makes it? It's Quicken Will Maker and Trust.
Okay.
And you know, you pay for less than $100, you have the software, and it's really pretty simple to use. You know,
Okay.
it's really just questions and answers. It's
All
just,
right.
you know, it's just that's it. You just follow along. Anybody that's ever done anything like, you know, it's kind of like it's interviewing you, and you just fill in what you want to do. And if you keep it simple, you can have this whole thing, and you have a whole will ready to go. Now, of course, to make it legal, you're supposed to have it signed, witnessed.
Notarized.
Well, there's two separate things to it. Okay, I won't make this a whole long discussion about it, but make it. I don't want to confuse other people. And my idea here, my intention here was to just say that this is doable for anybody at any kind of cost level. You know, you don't have to think you can't do it.
Okay.
But yeah, once the will is done and you have the will figured out and printed out, to make it legal, you have to have it witnessed. So
Ah.
you can have the will witnessed. It's supposed to be two witnesses. All right, there's two witnesses on this. You can get people, as long as the two people are not in the will. They can't be mentioned in the will. They can't be executor, which is an executor is someone who actually handles the will.
Okay.
You put in your will someone who's going to take care of the will. They're going to execute it. I think that's why the executor.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if there's beneficiaries in there, there's going to be beneficiaries, and those people are going to get whatever your estate is. They're going to, however it's divided, or it goes to one person, whatever. Any of those people that are mentioned in there, any of the executors or any beneficiaries, they can't be the witnesses. But you need two witnesses, two outsiders, right, or whatever.
Yeah. Right.
And you get them to witness this, you signing the will, and then they sign the will, and now it's legal.
Okay.
The notary thing is, and I'm pretty sure it's for most states, it might be for all states, the notary is to kind of make it what they call self-providing. So it just, by getting a notary, it's kind of like the notary is like saying, all right, I'm witnessing that the two witnesses are seeing you sign a will, and I'm seeing them sign a will, and we're notarizing it. And it just gives it more legal ground, legal standing, and it much more easier for it to go through the courts, because no matter what, will or not, everything has to end up still going through the court. And we're talking about probate court, right? And it either goes through smoothly, or it could go through with some complications. But having the will just make it that much easier. And yeah, so it's something that everyone should try to do, especially if they they find that they have some assets and they want to make sure they leave them to somebody, because if they don't have a will, then it really becomes a mess for anybody you would have wanted to leave stuff to.
All right.
Definitely.
All right.
And that's all I have to say about it.
So let me tell you what's going on in Las Vegas.
Oh, you want to go right to news?
Well, maybe.
Okay.
So something was stolen in Las Vegas.
Oh, really? Was this oh my gosh. Was this Ocean's 14?
No, it was not.
It wasn't?
No, it was not. And this is sad. This is just very sad. It's a sad story.
Oh, really?
Especially when you realize that it was stolen from a 27-foot hot dog shaped vehicle called the Wienermobile.
They stole the Wienermobile? They stole the hot dog.
No, they stole the catalytic converter off the Wienermobile in Las Vegas. Basically, leaving the Wienermobile flaccid. It could not be driven at that point. It had to be towed to a local repair shop.
Really?
And so imagine you come to work one morning and there's just a giant hot dog in your bay that you have to weld on a temporary catalytic converter, because catalytic converters have a 4-month waiting period. And
really?
did you know that the
I've heard
Toyota.
that's been a thing for a while, huh? People stealing catalytic converters because they cost so much money.
If you
They
steal
used to steal
one,
tires. Now they steal catalytic converters.
if you steal one from a Toyota Prius, you can resell that thing for almost or more than $1,000. So,
Holy moly!
so you get yourself a battery powered.
So I'm also assuming that catalytic converters don't have like IDs. Don't have like a little
No,
stamp on them. No serial
no, they
numbers and
don't.
stuff like that.
No,
Which
they do
even
not.
more of a why they probably like stealing them.
Oh yeah, right. Because
Wow!
you can't trace it.
Wow! There's an idea.
Recently, yeah. What?
Start up as a way to trace catalytic converters.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah.
But I'm sure someone will figure out a way to erase whatever's
Yeah, I know.
traced on there.
Yeah.
A man recently died as a result of trying to steal a catalytic converter off a giant pickup truck when the woman who was sleeping in the pickup truck woke up to hear sawing, Sawing, under her vehicle, started the vehicle up and drove away, running over the guy under it, killing him.
Wow.
So there you go. So yeah. Stealing catalytic converters is now the number one killer for people crawling under pickup trucks. Yep, that's it.
Hey, speaking of
You-
cars, I'm still having problems with my car.
Sell it.
I'm still
Sell
having
the car.
problems with the Toyota. I have a 22-year-old Toyota that something's wrong with the battery.
Yeah.
And you know that thing called the internet?
Yeah.
I went on there into Google
Yeah.
and I typed in, "Hey, what could be wrong with my battery and my
Yeah.
Toyota Corolla?" And
Right.
I'm sorry, Camry, and
Yeah.
it said that apparently, I'm not sure which years, but this could be interesting information to anybody who might have a really old Camry. Is that and this might happen with other vehicles
Wait a
too.
minute. Is this mom's old Camry?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's haunted. She's haunting it.
No, apparently, I'm gonna try this weekend. But apparently, on these old Camrys, the radio drains the battery while the car is off, and the only
No
way to fix
kidding.
it is to pull the fuse or to replace with a new radio.
No kidding.
Yeah, so I'm gonna attempt that first. Because the battery was getting drained,
Yeah.
and I didn't use the car for 2 weeks, and the battery was completely dead.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And I got it to
Like
start.
mom.
I got it to start.
Kind of like mom, completely dead.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not nearly dead.
Mostly dead all day. All
Mostly
right.
dead. Right.
Yeah. All right.
So
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna pull the fuse. I'm gonna pull the
Okay.
fuse on the show.
All right. No, please don't do that. We made $7.
You want to?
So yeah, so that's what's going on in Las Vegas. The
Okay.
Wienermobile got
you
deflated.
got other stuff or?
Yeah. So I want to talk about something else that happens to and if this not happened to you, consider yourself lucky. I was hacked over the weekend. My checking account was hacked over the weekend. Somebody
How does
decided
that
to
happen?
go. I don't know. Apparently, they used my account number and my routing number, obviously either off of a check or somehow, some way they got a hold of that. And then going online and making an online purchase to a Lowe's for almost $400, they bought something, and it came up on my screen when I checked my account one day, and I'm like, "What the hell is that? I didn't buy anything at Lowe's." And if I do, I have a Lowe's credit card.
Right.
So immediately I had to go, and this was a Saturday, and I was scheduled to go to work. So I had to run to the bank and sit there for an hour and go over all this stuff, and then had to run over to Comcast and change. If you have ACH, which means they pull money out of your account automatically every month to pay bills.
Right.
If you've got 5 or 6 of those going out, you've got to now contact every single one of those vendors and say, "Hey, guess what? Here's a new way to pay." So now I had to call people, and
Right.
nobody answers the phone anymore. It's all computerized. Press 1 for Spanish. First, you got to get through that, and then when you finally say, "Oh, so let's see if I can figure out who you need to speak to," press 1 for this, press 2 for that, press 3 for this. It's 15 minutes before you finally talk to a person.
Right.
And then, it's just,
And they
So, yeah.
follow a script, and then if
oh my God, it's just hell. It's
Yeah.
absolute hell. So, So whoever out there hacked my account, karma is waiting for you, my friend. You will see. I believe in karma, and your time will come. So that's what happened to me. So what else you want to talk about?
I don't know. You said you had some news. You still have
That was it. That was
that
the
was
news.
that was your news.
That's the
Okay.
news. I don't have a lot going on in my life, Bill.
You don't.
No, more wacky women.
More wacky women. All
More
right.
wacky women coming into
All right.
into my life.
I thought maybe
You
that
know,
episode we did, the last episode we did with the dating game, would
oh
have
my
maybe
gosh.
sort of done something for you. Maybe
Nope.
bring you some
No, I met somebody
some
from North
good mojo.
Carolina.
No.
Met somebody from North Carolina, went down to visit them, had a great time.
Really?
Next morning it's, oh, I don't want to see you again, blah blah blah. It's like, golly, what did I do?
Well, long distance relationships are not easy too, though.
I was willing to try and make it work. I thought this woman was worth it, but nope, nope, nope. Sometimes I think I'm only good for some drinks and a dinner and a meal. That's, I don't know if that's the newest thing. Women are out there thinking, "Hey, I'm gonna just troll guys and I'll hook them, and then I'll get a free meal out of this, or maybe even two." I just don't understand it anymore, Bill. I don't know what the
I,
problem is. I
I don't
mean,
know.
this third arm I have growing out the middle of my back, it can be removed. It can. A good surgeon could easily remove it, and then I'd be mostly normal. So
Right. It shouldn't deter anybody. Right.
it shouldn't deter anyone.
Mostly normal.
I'd be mostly normal. Anyhow, so what
All
do you
right.
got going on?
Oh, I think I pretty much covered everything.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
pretty
We're
much.
done. That was a quick show.
Well, we could always go and take a
And what?
break and come
Yeah.
back and do one of your favorite segments.
Oh my God, Naughty Nuns on the Run. Oh,
Right. No, no, you know what it is.
I do know what it is. And
All
I
right.
I don't know what state it's going to be, but I'm sure it's going to
There
be
you
funny.
go. All right. So we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with more of the show.
Yay.
Thank you. Please wait for assistance.
This is Bill, and you're listening to Pull Yourself to Pieces, the podcast, hosted on Anchor. You never heard of Anchor? Anchor by Spotify is a podcast host platform, and it's an easy way to make a podcast. We picked Anchor because they have everything we needed all in one place. You can record and edit a podcast from your computer or even right from your phone. Then you can have your podcast distributed easily to multiple platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and much more. And did I mention it's free? That's right. Anchor is free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
It's time for Looney Laws of the Land.
And we're back with another edition of Looney Laws of the Land, where we go to a state and we look up some weird laws that exist in that state that are still in the books, apparently.
Hey, listen, I'm going to change the subject here only because I have something to say. Before we get into this, and this is really fun, I have a public service message.
Oh boy.
So, I use Tubi a lot to watch movies in it because it's free, because I'm cheap,
Right.
and because I stream it through the internet. There's a movie with Kurt Russell, and it's a western. It's called Bone Tomahawk.
BONE, Bone Tomahawk.
Bone Tomahawk. Do not watch this movie. It is.
I thought you were
it
going to
is-
say, you
it
got to
is-
watch this.
It's gruesome, and I'm going to be 65 in just a week or two, and I got to tell you, it was gruesome, and I've seen some gruesome stuff in my life, but this movie was gruesome. I mean, it was violent in a way that I haven't seen.
And you're
before.
tolerant. I mean,
And I am ridiculously
you watch some of the
tolerant.
most ridiculous movies and tell me, oh, these are good, and then I want to.
I absolutely do. And I run
For
the
you
gamut
to say
from,
this is bad. This is
this is a
bad.
movie that no one should ever watch for any reason.
Wow.
Just don't think you're going to sit there and say, "Oh, I'm going to get some popcorn. I'm going to get a cup of hot chocolate. This is going to be a wonderful, experience." No, it was freaking terrible. And
Wow.
unfortunately,
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it's the type of movie that it sucks you in, and then you have to wait to the end to see what happens.
Right.
But in the interim,
exactly.
the
Exactly.
violence and the gore, like I haven't seen for a long time. It's horrible. It's called Bone Tomahawk. Don't waste your time unless you're a fan of blood and gore. Big time. Okay, on with the show. So these laws are still on the books in the state. And what state are we in now,
We're
Bill?
going to Nebraska.
Oh, jeez. Corn country. Okay.
Yeah, are they corn country?
Yeah. Yeah. Corn.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're big with the
Corn and tornadoes. Yeah.
Hmm.
The tornadoes come and rip out all the corn. So, farmers are starving because they spend, all year trying to get corn to grow, and then a tornado comes and wipes everything out.
Oh
So,
my god!
it's just a vicious cycle,
I couldn't live there.
No. And it's flat. So,
And I like
unless you
corn.
like,
And I like corn.
well, yeah, it's flat. It's very flat.
So in Nebraska,
Yeah.
apparently, if you have a daughter, you are not allowed to give her a perm. A mother cannot give her daughter a perm without a state license.
A license for a perm.
That's right. Yep.
Jesus Christ. I mean, that's
This has been around.
really-
This law has been around for 40 years.
That's really stepping on your personal rights big
Yeah.
time. Why is the government intervening on whether or not you can give your daughter a perm? I mean, what is the crime here? I mean, if she has orange hair, all right, you're going to make her look like Bozo. But, that's really not a crime because Bozo made a living, looking like that. But what's the crime here?
Right, and it says the mothers can't, so I guess maybe the fathers can.
The
or-
fathers can?
I guess.
Like they're better at it for some
Uh,
reason?
Well,
again.
just to keep the sexes even here.
Yeah.
In Nebraska, apparently, men are not allowed to run around with their chests shaved. So
Oh, you
sorry,
got to be
Ray.
kidding me.
you can't.
You
do
can't
anything.
shave your chest?
I guess.
What can you do there? What are you allowed? Give me the list of what you're allowed to do there.
No, none of that manscaping stuff. You can't.
Well, then
run
I'm going to jail because mine is smooth as a baby's ass. Well, that's a problem. Again, this is just ridiculous. And who enforces this? Is there the hair the hair police? I mean,
I guess.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
Just
really. That's two
unbelievable.
hair-related things. Really, think about that.
Just the level of stupidity in some of these states just boggles the mind.
All right, so there's a town in Nebraska called, I guess it's Leigh. It's that Lee.
Lee.
Lee. So
Lee.
in the town of Lee, they're not allowed to make their donuts with holes.
That's called a roll.
Yeah, it's no longer a donut.
It's a roll.
Although donut doesn't really mean anything for what a donut is. There's no nut in there.
Right. Yeah. So you can't make donuts with holes. How is this a crime? Again, why is this a crime?
I don't know.
Why is this a crime?
It's been around for over 100 years. How do you like that?
You know what I think the problem was? I think the original settlers of Nebraska just had it in for Jews because, as far as I'm concerned, Jews probably make the best donuts. And so they just figured, well, if we stop the donuts, we'll stop the Jews.
Oh my
and-
God.
I mean, seriously, what
Could have been.
how- what
could have been.
what kind
That's ridiculous.
of logic do you use behind this?
I don't know.
Oh, just I have a feeling this is going to get worse.
Well, remember
Go
that
ahead.
donut spelled backwards is Stunad, so there you go.
Stunad, that's right.
Right.
And
Right.
for all our Italian friends, we know what that means.
Okay, so
Stunad.
apparently in Nebraska, you can only get condoms by doctors. Doctors are only allowed to sell condoms.
Doctors
Yeah,
can sell condoms.
right. So if you're having a hot date late at night,
Yeah.
you can't run out to the store,
Yeah.
7-Eleven, to go buy
Yeah.
condoms. You got to have
Condom.
to go and knock on the
have to
doctor's door
Knock on the doctor's door
in the middle of the night.
and interrupt him while he's trying to put on his condom. Gee, it's very apropos, don't you think? Very apropos. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
You think we could like take a giant saw and saw around the entire perimeter of Nebraska and just let it sink down into the middle earth there, like just go right down to the core and then just kind of pave over it with cement where it was. You think it'll be missed?
No.
God almighty. What else you got? This is supposed to be a comedy. I'm getting angry. This is supposed to be a comedy show. That's all I know. You better come up with something funny fast.
Okay. Apparently, hotels in Nebraska are they are required to give their guests clean white cotton nightshirts.
Oh, are you required to wear them too?
Right.
Does somebody knock at your door at 2 a.m. and when you come and answer it, and if you're naked, you go to jail because you didn't put on your nightshirt? That's what it implies.
Wow.
Here, wear this, and you better wear it or else. Just unbelievable. They're stuck in the 1700s. That's what happened. Time stopped at 1700 in Nebraska.
In 1910, the city of Waterloo created a law that barbers are forbidden to eat onions between 7 a.m. and noon.
Well, thank God for that. That's finally a good law because you don't want some guy with his face that close to your head stinking like onions. All right, thank you. Finally, Nebraska redeems itself. And I'm assuming that goes for garlic too because, either one of those.
Right, exactly. Right.
All right, no onions. Okay, that's a good law. A good law.
Okay, and apparently in Nebraska, if you're in church and you sneeze or burp, you could be in trouble. It's technically a crime. Wow.
It's a crime to sneeze or burp in church.
Yeah. You can fart though. But
you can fart. Okay.
You can't sneeze or
that uncontrollable flatulence strikes again.
Right.
Wow.
And the last one I got for you, Ray, apparently you are not allowed to get married in Nebraska if both parties have gonorrhea. And there you go. I guess they don't want to, spread it around.
That would be the best reason to get married if you both had gonorrhea. Because then you don't have to worry about giving it to the other person. They've already got it.
Right.
That's totally messed up.
Oh, I don't know.
That's totally messed up.
Nebraska, that's going to be our catchphrase.
I've come to the conclusion that conservatives, they really care so much about that fetus. Every life is precious. Oh no, please don't abort that child. Have the child, give the child up for adoption. We love little babies. Please, it's God's will. You're pregnant. We need that fetus. Later, what? You were shot at school? Just get under your desk. That's what assault rifles are for. That's right. We like to pick them off. Thoughts and prayers. So they only care about you, in the gestation period. But once you're a child, it's open season. We don't care about you anymore. We like to pick you off in your school and get used to it. So tell me how messed up that is.
Yeah.
Tell me that's not messed up.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
They're just a horrible bunch of people. That's all I can say.
Well, on that note,
we're going to say goodbye.
We're going to say goodbye, put an end to another show, and
$7
probably by the next time we'll do another show will be around your birthday. So maybe a birthday episode.
A birthday episode. That could be
do a
real
birthday
good.
episode.
I could come up with some funny stories.
All right, there you go.
Birthday episode.
This is your life.
Coming up, and
this was your life. We'll do it. This was your life.
Wait, I'm still here, Bill. And and you too, my brother. You have a milestone coming up. The big 6-0. That's right.
Yeah. You're 60,
a new decade, right?
I'll be 60. Yeah,
60.
I know.
Yeah.
You're March, mine's April.
And she that we do not speak of will be.
Don't even go there. No. All right. So I was leaving the show on a good note. Let's.
We need to have her on again.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We need to have
So-
to have Paula call
Yeah.
in again. I think
Yeah.
it's time.
Okay.
Don't you?
All right. Yeah, that's true.
Yes,
It's been a while. You're right.
Of
Okay,
course.
we'll
Yes,
have to
it's
have that
time.
happen.
It's time. Okay.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning into the show. And
Yes. And if you have any comments, please just say what's on your mind.
Ray always does.
I always do. And the other thing is just be good to each other out there, okay?
Yeah. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Please check out our website, pullyourselftopieces.com.
That's right.
And you can subscribe to the show in Google and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Castbox, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Stitcher, and YouTube, or via RSS, so you'll never miss an episode.
And if you enjoy our show, don't forget to give us a high rating.
And remember to tell your friends about the show.
Thanks for listening to our show, and thank you to freesounds.org and Gottlieb, Audio Mirage, Plasterbrain, Cognito Perceptu, FK Prod, Mirage Taser, Shadow Wisp, D-Boss, Viku Seru, Intra Environmental Sound Project, Julian Nicholas, Carmelo Mike, G Kill Hour, 140178 Sound, CMU Sound Design, Alan M. Chi, Der Super Anton, Eric H2000, Bulbastray, FK Phantom, Ultra Dust, Ada Records, Stuart Colborn, Debroid, Cubidup, GJ, Syntax Seed, Inspector J, Astounded, Madge 061785, Just Invoke, Short Record, Lorenzo Sue, and I'm Mackenzie. CreativeCommons.org/licenses/by/3.0/legal code.